Hi, Peggy here. Oh, excuse me. I haven't said anything in a few minutes. Hi, Peggy here. If we haven't met yet, I'm the founder of this community, Answering the Call, where we answer that internal call, that nudge that says that there must be something more to life. Missing in my life, even though I'm already successful, I've checked the boxes, I should feel more fulfilled, but something's still missing. And I want to experience more purpose and meaning in my work and in my personal life. And we do that, we explore that by unlearning beliefs that we have about ourselves and others and how life works. We do that by engaging in exercises. Today we're going to specifically do like an experiential exercise. We do some inquiry, ask yourself questions that help you have insights so that things shift in the world for you. And this program is pretty unique for all that it has put together for us to know who we are and live as who we truly are. And I'm committed to supporting you with living the life, bringing you what I can to support you to live the life that your heart knows is possible. And notice I said the heart, not the mind. Because our heart knows, we know. I can say our heart because that's how it feels to us and that's how we talk about it. But we know, our essential nature knows what's true for us and how we want to live. So if you're here live, please say hi. I'm going to look at the comments now. Hi, Sharon. So glad that you're here. And if you're watching this on replay, please put hashtag replay in. I love knowing that you were here. I'm going to adjust the camera a little bit here. Okay. And if you're, if you have any comments today or anybody else that's here live, please say hi. If you have any comments or questions, always post them and I will answer them. So today's topic is deepening your sense of deepening your sense of shared being through opening your heart. Deepening your sense of shared being through opening your heart. So what do I mean by that? Who we truly are is one being. Now, the way we've interpreted ourselves, our senses, and life, our whole lives, tell us something else. Tell us that we're separate, that we don't, how could we share one being? I'm over here, you're over there. But it's actually an illusion that we're separate that's been created because of beliefs we've taken on our whole life, starting when we were very young, when people kept saying, hi, Peggy, or Peggy's over here, or Peggy, look at the bird, look at the tree, look at the car, trying to teach us things. And by pointing out all these things that seem to be separate, at some point, we finally somehow have a thought that says, oh, I must be a separate being over here, and everything else is out there. So we've been conditioned to believe that, and there's nothing wrong with that. We've all been conditioned by that. It's just an inaccurate understanding of the world. And so what we're doing is getting in harmony with how life truly is. It'll make our life much easier, much more enjoyable, and as well as easier in relationships too, when we know who we truly are and harmonize with that. So the shared being means that that's our essential nature. We share our being with everyone and everything. An easy metaphor maybe that helps make this land a little easier is if you think about a river and it has whirlpools in it, we would never think that we could pull out a whirlpool out of the river, or that we wouldn't even think it's separate. They're distinct. There's a distinctness to it. We can say there's the whirlpool, but we would never say it's separate from the river. So that's the same thing with us. We're actually like a river, a field. Some people call it a field, the field of consciousness, an energetic field. We're one field, and we're each movements of energy in that one field. So we actually share our being with everyone and everything. And so today what we're going to focus on is experiencing that, going beyond any concepts about it to where we can experience that we share our being. And we're going to do that through opening our hearts. But we're going to talk about it just a little bit more first. So if you think about somebody, in fact, if you think about somebody right now, so bring somebody to mind. You have an image of some sort, a face maybe, or a whole person, but a face. And notice where you see that image. It's right where you are. Again, we've thought the way we've thought about it over the years. It's like I'm thinking of an image of them, like they're separate. But notice this image is contained, arises within you. No separation. So as we think of this being, but let's say typically what we do, we think of them, or let's say you walk into the room and see this person that you've brought the image to mind to. What we typically do, what we're conditioned to do, is see our ideas about the person. So our experience with this person our whole lives has, because of the way we've been conditioned, we interpret that experience and we see that person in a certain way. So for example, a woman, that's one. We had to start creating identities for this person. They're a woman, they're a friend, they're a writer, they're an artist, they're a coach, they're a mother, they're a daughter, they're typically happy, they're typically sad. We add all those characterizations to the person. So typically, if we're not paying attention, when we see the person, that's kind of what they're all covered over with. That's what we actually see, are the concepts of that person. Because we've experienced them, we've taken them on, so when we see them, that winds up being our experience of them, is all these concepts. So what we can do is first realize that, oh yeah, I have all these concepts about this person. Instead of walking into the room or bringing them to mind, as if we've never met them before. First. Because they're actually not the same person they were the last time you saw them. Even if it was a minute ago. Why? Because a minute has passed. They've had different experiences. You've had different experiences. They're not the same people. We've shed skin in the last minute. So we're not the same people. So we can remember that when we see somebody, just as we notice all those ideas about them will come to us, then we remind ourselves, over time you will just naturally do it. See them anew. Actually witness them. See them. See this other aspect of you that seems to be across the room. It's like a diamond. It's another facet on the diamond. There's only one diamond, many facets. The same thing with this person. So you see this person, and what we can do then is open our hearts instead of the thoughts that come to us about this person, all those those characterizations. And they happen so fast we don't realize we're doing it. We've done it so often that, again, what we're doing, we're actually greeting the concepts, greeting the characterizations. It's just a greeting this being. So what we can do is remind ourselves, again, over time, it'll be natural, that we're just relax all of those ideas, not pay attention to any thinking, and allow yourself to sink into your heart, to open your heart. So when you see the person, you just naturally open your heart. And then you are with them in that way. And that also helps know that there's no division. You experience no division because you're opening your heart. You're opening to them. Because that's another thing we've done over the years, is we kind of close our hearts down over the years. If you've ever been hurt by this, seemingly hurt by an action of this person, you closed your heart down a bit. We all do that. So it's remembering to be as open-hearted as I can be with this other human being, that none of us is perfect. We've all done things that could seemingly hurt other people, but to allow ourselves to be completely open to this person, as if we've never seen them before, and open that heart, relax. And then when we're with them in that way, then we experience that connection, because we've dissolved and removed all those characterizations that actually seem to keep us divided. So let's check in again with whether we could ever be divided. So if you brought somebody to mind, but now sort of imagine that they're in the room with you right now, across the room. Let the pillow, I have a pillow on a couch over there. So let's say that pillow is that person. Is there any division between you and that person over there? Now you might say there's space in the room, but if you look across the room, maybe see I'm saying across the room, but if you look over there, you cannot find any, like a hole. Like, is there a hole somewhere? What I mean by that is like a complete white space or a complete black space. Something that there's a delineation of some sort. There are no lines between us and this person, or in this case, the pillow across the room. There are no lines. There's no delineation. There's no separation. There's actually one continuous flow from from me to this other person. And when we open our heart, we experience that. Because we've opened our heart touches them, reaches them. Their heart touches us, reaches us. That energy field, if you will, connects us. There's no distinction, no separation. Let me see what else I wanted to say about that. Let's see. Yeah, and you don't have to think about what to do. I mean, once you do this once or twice, you'll just remember. So there's nothing to do. So you're there with this person, with the open heart. Thoughts will arise, let them dissolve. Thoughts will arise, let them dissolve. Just be with this other person, and then you'll know what to say, when to say it. You don't have to think about what to say. You don't have to think about how to present yourself, because you're leading with the open heart. And that's the presence, that's the being that they'll experience when they're with you. Okay, let me see if there are any questions or comments. Let's see. Yeah. So that's the message today. Sharon, any thoughts or questions? Or anybody else, if you're on here, if you're watching on replay, thoughts or questions, I will answer them. Yeah, and so you can practice this for a while. You know, for even just a few days, you'll really start noticing a difference when you remind yourself, I can't see any separation between me and them. I can interpret a separation. Like, I can bring the concept of there's space between me and them. That's a concept. If you look in your experience, there's no space between you and the other person, either in the seeing or the hearing, the feeling. Absolutely no space between you and the other person. Again, we have a concept of that. And what we're doing is we're dissolving these concepts. We're investigating and realizing that these concepts are not accurate. And in doing so, eventually it just clicks for us. And by eventually, I mean some of these insights that can pretty quickly, like a day or two, and then some of them take longer. Like this one might take longer. I mean, it's, you know, we've thought of ourselves as separate from somebody our whole lives, or another person our whole lives. It can take a while to let it really sink in that I can't find any separation. And then to allow ourselves to be who we truly are, this open-hearted, naturally, that's who we are, this open-hearted being when we're with this other person. Sharon, this sounds simple, but it takes doing it again and again to feel it. Yes, so right. My experience too. My experience too. Especially if you're in this group, you're probably pretty smart. And I'll go ahead and say I'm pretty smart. Sharon's really smart. So we've trained ourselves to listen to our thinking. And our thinking is what is going to tell us the truth, and we need to rely on that. We've taken lots of tests over the years, right? So you've got to memorize things, you've got to remember things, you've got to think to write the answer, and so that takes us away from our experience, our actual. Well, we're always experiencing everything I'm talking about, but we may not be aware of it because we've conditioned ourselves to be aware of something other than our actual experience. So what we're doing here, though, is reconditioning ourselves to experience to be aware of our experience. That's not quite accurate either. Who we are is awareness, and the experience arises in awareness. But sometimes it's useful as we're taking these steps to think of it that way. I'm aware of this experience. So today we'll stick with that. I'm aware of this experience. And the more you become aware of it, then again over time, and you'll notice you just are this awareness in which the experience is arising. Okay, so again, just keep investigating that you can't find a separation, and then remind yourself that this being you've never seen before, even if you've lived with them for 20 or 50 years, who they are right this minute, we don't know who they are. Life's a mystery. Things are always happening to all of us. And we're thinking new things, we're experiencing new things, we have new ideas. And so to allow ourselves the gift and the other person the gift of just our presence, our full, open, loving presence with this other being. And then see what happens. And tell us about it. As you do this, come back and post on this, post your comment, tell us what your experience is. We'd love to hear it. Thank you for being here. If you'd like to explore any of this anymore, then like how to work together one-on-one or in the group practice that we have ongoing, then please either message me or put wisdom in the comment, and I'll be in touch. And we will explore what it'd be like to take this on so you can actually live it fully. It usually takes a guide to support us to know this and embody it. I'd love to talk with you about it. Sharon makes everything, everyone new. Yeah, like I said, Sharon's really smart. That's brilliant, because that's exactly what's happening. Even science says everything is like popping. They don't say that, but everything is happening right now. It's like flashes. It's like energetic. I don't. What's the word? Pulses, like energetic. The universe is actually being created anew in every moment. That's what's actually happening. So yes, so we get to be in life that way, where everyone is new all the time. Thank you for being here. Have a wonderful rest of your day.